It's a raccoon with a talk show slinging culture facts you might not know. From the biggest flops to the greatest hits, this is Trash Can Tidbits.
Hi everyone. Trash Can Tidbits is live, I'm Beaton, and welcome back to the show. Last week I asked the question, true or false? Andy Serkis jumped into a studio lake to catch a fish in The Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. The answer is false. Serkis jumped into a real river, and the water was freezing cold. The scene was actually filmed near Mount Ruapehu, New Zealand's most active volcano, and it had actually snowed the night before the scene was filmed. The crew hastily melted the snow and broke up the ice within a few hours, but it was still very cold. Serkis reportedly filmed the scene 5 times but mustered through it, which is total dedication if you ask me. Now, with that address, let's get started with fact number 1. Did you know that nowhere in the original nursery rhyme does it say that Humpty Dumpty was an egg? The original rhyme came from a real-life battle, the Siege of Colchester from 1648, part of the English Civil War, in which the actual Humpty Dumpty was not an egg, but a cannon that was stationed on a large wall that was taken down in battle. The cannon was beyond repair, hence why all the king's horses and all the king's men could not fix it. We actually have author Lewis Carroll to thank for personifying Humpty as an egg when he appeared in Through the Looking Glass, the sequel to Alice in Wonderland. So, a cannon that was blasted off a wall was eventually turned into an egg that fell off a large wall. Makes sense to me. Fact 2. Did you know that a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie and video game share the same titles? In 2013, the downloadable game Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows was released for Xbox 360, PC, and PS3. In 2016, there was a sequel to the Michael Bay-produced reboot of TMNT that had the same title. Both projects have nothing to do with each other. I'm not sure why the movie used the same title of the game, probably an oversight by the filmmakers. Fact 3. Did you know that actress Glynis Johns was essentially conned into starring in Mary Poppins? She was under the impression that Walt Disney wanted her to play the title character, then Walt said he wanted her to play the mother, Mrs. Banks. Johns said that she would only take the part if she could have her own song, and Walt immediately said that the Sherman Brothers were just finishing a song just for her. The thing was, though, no such song was in the works, but the Shermans did in fact, after the meeting, take one of their cut songs, Practically Perfect, and wrote some new lyrics which eventually became Mrs. Banks' song, Sister Suffragette. Johns accepted the part immediately after hearing it. Fact 4. Did you know that the creator of Alvin and the Chipmunks got his stage name from being stationed in Spain during World War II? Ross Bagdasarian served as a staff sergeant in the war and was stationed in the city of Seville, known for its passion for the flamenco, among other things. It's where Bagdasarian got the inspiration for his stage name, Dave Seville. After the war, he hit the music scene with songs like Come On to My House and Witch Doctor, and eventually created Alvin and the Chipmunks. Dave Seville became the group's primary songwriter and manager. Bagdasarian also made a cameo appearance as a piano player in the Alfred Hitchcock film Rear Window. Fact 5 comes from my friend on Telegram, TechNewGecko. Did you know that the famous How Am I Funny exchange from Goodfellas was based on an actual encounter that Joe Pesci had? As a young man, Pesci worked at an Italian restaurant where a mobster tended to hang out. One night, Pesci told the guy he was funny, which immediately prompted him to get very angry and unleash a huge stream of profanity. Pesci remembered this encounter when filming Goodfellas and told Martin Scorsese about it. The whole dialogue exchange was also allegedly ad-libbed between Pesci and Ray Liotta, so nobody else in the cast knew what was going on. Thanks for this fact tech, that was really cool. Fact 6. Did you know that Bruce Campbell was considered to play the title character in Sam Raimi's film Darkman? Campbell had been a regular in all of Raimi's films up to that point, most notably in the Evil Dead series. Producers weren't sure, though, if Campbell could carry the whole movie himself despite his charisma. Liam Neeson got the part because he was attracted to the operatic nature of the story and that he could actually act beneath all the demanding makeup the part required. Campbell still makes a cameo, though, as a disguise that the Darkman character puts on at the end of the movie. Fact 7. Did you know that Daniel Day-Lewis's wife is the daughter of a famous playwright whose film adaptation Lewis himself starred in? Lewis is married to Rebecca Miller, the daughter of American playwright Arthur Miller, whose most famous play, The Crucible, was made into a film in 1996 starring Lewis. The Crucible, which tells the story of the Salem witch trials, also parallels Miller's own dealings with the House of Un-American Activities Committee in the 1950s, when Hollywood actors, writers, and directors were being blacklisted because of alleged communist ties. Rebecca and Daniel met in the early days of The Crucible's film prep, and they remain married to this day. Fact 8. Did you know that Casino Royale broke a world record for the most car flips? The famous scene where James Bond swerves to avoid the leading lady Vesper Lynd and flips his Aston Martin DBS was done for real, with an air cannon placed on the bottom of the car. Previous attempts to flip it with a mini ramp weren't enough, and it only caused it to either slide across the road or through the wet grass. It eventually rolled an incredible total of 7 times, and it earned entry into the Guinness Book of World Records. It was totally accidental on the part of the filmmakers, and to the best of my knowledge, the record stands to this day. Fact 9. Did you know that Whitney Houston originally developed the TV movie Cinderella with the plan to have her star in it as Cinderella? Being also one of the main producers of the movie, it had been on the back burner for a number of years before Disney eventually made it in 1998. By the time it got off the ground, however, Houston put herself out of contention because she was a bit too old to play Cinderella. When Brandy eventually got the role, she insisted that Houston play the fairy godmother, which was never even thought of, and Houston did, allowing 2 music icons to star alongside each other, and TV history was made. Fact 10. Did you know that rock legend Dee Snider played a video game villain? Snider, best known as the lead singer of the metal band Twisted Sister, played the main villain Gol Acheron, the Dark Sage, in the first Jak and Daxter game, The Precursor Legacy. His voice, though, is heavily modulated and full of reverb, so it's not recognizable at first. This game helped introduce me to the music of Twisted Sister, and I believe Snider's presence in the game, though, makes him the only rock musician in a Jak and Daxter game, which is pretty cool. And here's this week's trivia question. We go back to Daniel Day-Lewis for this. One of his most famous roles was that of the half-white, half-Indian scout Hawkeye in The Last of the Mohicans. Now, the movie gives Hawkeye's real name as Nathaniel Poe, but the original book by James Fenimore Cooper was completely different. My question to you is, what was Hawkeye's real name in The Last of the Mohicans novel? And there we go for this week. Thanks again to TechNewGecko for that neat Goodfellas fact. It's really fun whenever I get my audience to participate. Definitely keep those trivia facts coming because I love to have audience participation. And stay tuned for more fun. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and ring the bell for future video notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time